All right, another ride out on Cookie Monster. This is going to be a short ride, a short video. I'm riding trails that are not on trail forks, commonly called the estates, but they're not on trail forks. So can't help you if you want to try them, other than saying some good Strava segment exploring might find your way here. But that's not why I wanted to do the video today. I'm not doing this ride to feature these trails. I'm doing this ride because I wanted something that was relatively easy in terms of the aerobic challenge, because I was going to take the opportunity to talk about what I have planned for my YouTube videos over the next few months. Hopefully I can make it work. Yeah, I wanted to talk about what I have planned for my videos over the coming months. I am hopeful I can make it work, but we shall see. Back in 2021, I set a goal for myself to ride 50 different locations in Southern Ontario. So yeah, I rode 50 different trail locations in Southern Ontario, going from, in the east, Durham, west, the Pines and Woodstock, I went as far south as Turkey Point and as far north as the Bracebridge Resource Management Trails. Now, there were a lot of trail systems. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but quite a few I didn't ride. Even though I hit 50, there's quite a few notable ones I didn't ride. I didn't ride the Dawn. I've never ridden the Dawn. I don't live in Toronto, and it just seems counterintuitive to me to drive into the city to go mountain biking. I don't have anything against the Dawn. The trails look amazing on video. Just can't seem to wrap my head around going there. I didn't do the horseshoe trails, like the actual bike park. I didn't ride anything around Hamilton, like Christie Lake or Waterdown. So definitely some omissions. More places for me to explore one day. But in the 50 that I rode, there were a lot of trail systems that I had never ridden before. So it was fun. It was really cool to get out there and explore. And definitely, I found some new favorites. You know, some other stuff I'd probably say, you know, I wouldn't make the trip again to ride them, but definitely new favorites that I'm looking forward, or I looked forward to going back to. So what does that mean? Well, the other thing I did in 2021 when I was going through this was I ranked the trails. I scored each trail based on 5 factors: flow, aerobic challenge, technical challenge, features, and just overall fun and experience. Now, how I scored the trails is it was always relative to the rest of the trails that I'd ridden. So, you know, I tried to look for a benchmark in each category. It doesn't mean that the benchmark scored perfect, but I tried to say, okay, if these trails are the most technical, for example, and they get a 10 out of 10, this other trail system was still technical but easier. Maybe it should get an 8 out of 10. So everything was relative to the other trails that I rode out of the 50. But the other thing to note is these rankings are based on my experience, my likes. So they might not, different people might rank trails differently. You know, the type of rider that I am, I like adventure, I like challenge. I'm not a good climber, but I will climb. I will climb a ski hill if it means I get a good descent out of it. So these rankings are my rankings. They're not meant to be, you know, everyone's rankings. But what I found was there's a lot of good trails in Southern Ontario. And I thought I would put together my best of list and share my thoughts with everyone. So I have plans for this summer doing my top 15. Why 15? Very good question. So why 15? Well, the truth is, there was just some really good trails that didn't make it into my top 10 that I didn't want to not feature. And at the same time, there's some really good trails in places 16 through 20 that I could have done. But this is going to take a big commitment from me to get through these 15 locations this year. I intended on doing this in 2022, the year after I did the 50 trails. But, you know, life got in the way. There was no way I would have been able to pull this off in 2022. I'm hopeful for 2023, but there's, you know, a decent likelihood that I will not be able to do it in 2023 either, but I'm going to try my best. So what I'm planning on doing is releasing a video for each of the top 15. And talk about how I ranked them, what's good about them, blah, blah, blah. So that's like, you know, 15 weeks of videos. But I don't know if I'll be able to do it 15 straight weeks. Some of them do require a larger time commitment to get to and stuff. So those ones I might, you know, there might be the odd week I skip, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best. And you know, hopefully what people get out of it is they learn about some new trails that we have here in Southern Ontario. and you go out and try something new, like I did. I think a lot of people will find in my top 15 that there's places that they haven't ridden. So, you know, it gives them something to try. Now, most of the trails are public, but there might be the odd trail in the top 15 that requires club membership or day pass. Every trail on the list that I rode that was either private or needed a day pass, I paid for the club membership or the day pass. I'm a strong supporter of, you know, supporting your local trails mountain bike club. The work that goes into building trails like this is not insignificant. And, you know, mountain biking is not a cheap sport with the cost of bikes and stuff. But when you look at the price of a trail membership, a club membership, very reasonable. Club membership prices are very reasonable. They're a great way of supporting the trails, trail building, land access. So I'm a strong supporter of that. And most clubs offer group rides or things like that. So it's a good way to meet other riders. So going back to my 5 categories that I scored these trails on out of 10, you know, in no particular order, except for I save the overall experience for last. It's flow. You know, what do I mean by flow? Well, trails with good flow, you just know, right? If you're able to maintain speed throughout the trail, if the corners are built in such a way that you barely have to touch the brakes as you're going around, if you're being blessed by having bermed corners even, all of that creates flow. That sense of almost like roller coaster type ride. That's what I'm looking for trails with flow. Now, the second category is aerobic. I mean, yeah, we're all mountain biking because it's fun, but it's also trying to keep us in shape, right? And so, you know, how much of an aerobic challenge is the trail system? Is there a lot of climbing, huge elevation in a short trail ride? Is the climbing difficult? Is it, you know, pretty simple climbing, or is it very technical? How tired are you at the end of the ride? That might suggest the trail system would score reasonably well in aerobic if you were really tired. Then there's technical. And I love a technical challenge. I am, you know, not afraid to push myself riding trails like Bent Rim. I will try it. Might not do it cleanly. Well, I definitely won't do Bent Rim cleanly. But anyways, you know, technical. rocks, roots, difficult climbs, difficult descents. You know, the kind of ride where, you know, 2 hours later you've done 15 kilometers, averaging 7.5 kilometers an hour, and you're just wiped. Hey, that's the type of riding you like, I'll make some suggestions for you. And then there's features. They could be man-made or natural, but jumps, drops, log skinnies, berms, you know, stuff that makes the trails fun. I like these little birdhouses and stuff here. But yeah, stuff that makes the trail fun. Stuff that, you know, you can session to drop, session to log skinny, stuff like that. Features. Yeah, I don't only mean man-made, although most would be man-made. Sometimes the trail just has a natural drop to it or jump. It's that kind of stuff. Rock gardens, they could be a feature as I go through one. And then finally, the fifth category, just the fun and experience of riding the trail. And it's not just riding the trail. I include in the experience score things like, you know, is there a cool place to go get a beer or some lunch after the ride close by? Is there can you make it more of a destination than just the ride itself? Of course, you know, just the overall experience of the trails comes into this score, but there might be some kind of bonus marks for a broader experience. Restaurants, coffee shops, destinations, all of that would contribute to the fun and experience score. Ooh. I was just riding by a pond and there was a big splash going into the pond. And it got me thinking that in the last couple of weeks in Caledon and Orangeville, there's been bears sighted. The splash that I heard wasn't bear size, and it was a big splash. It was, I don't know. I'll see if I caught anything on the camera, but it was a decent sized splash. But yeah, there's been bears sighted in Caledon, along the Caledon Rail Trail into Alton. Don't know if it's the same bear or mother bear and cubs apparently, or if maybe there's a few different bears here. But yeah, we haven't had bears in Caledon in quite a while. There's been sightings in the past, but it's been a while. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know what I would do if I saw one. Riding alone. I've come across bears before riding. In Whistler, near Ottawa, came across a black bear once. When I was riding near Ottawa, I was riding with my dog at the time. We had a Weimaraner, so that dog loved to go for a run. But we were riding along, or I was riding along, he was running along, and we were getting close to this brook where I used to go brook trout fishing, camping as a little kid. And this is east of Algonquin Park. And all of a sudden, as I'm riding along the trail, and to the right of me is the brook, I hear this big commotion and look across to the other side of the brook, and a bear, black bear, rears up on its hind legs, makes a grunt, runs into the woods, runs up like a mountain, if you want to call it a mountain, but starts just tearing through the woods because I had startled it. And of course it startled me. And I turn around and look for my dog, and it bloody ran away. It didn't chase the bear, thankfully. It just ran freaking away. And I'm like, you're supposed to be a hunting dog. Where are you going? I had to call his name a few times, and he ended up coming out down the trail, opposite side of the brook. So he ran in the opposite direction of the bear. And yeah, I was like, nice going, dog. You're supposed to protect me. Well, that's my ride today. It was a short one, only 11 kilometers. But I was looking for something short and easy because I knew I had a lot of talking to do. Anyways, hopefully I can get this to work, and hopefully you all enjoy it. Hopefully it inspires you guys to go someplace new and try some new trails in southern Ontario. And if you do, happy pedaling. And maybe I'll see you out there.